Hey, welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been a while. I have been on a vacation for the last week, but I'm back, and today we're gonna talk about the bard. And bards are seekers of knowledge. They can be actors, musicians, storytellers, or politicians. They are they tend to wander the world seeking like new things. Like, oh, this is a new thing. I want to learn it. And this is reflected in that they are tend to be a jack of all trades character. So if you have ever wanted your character to be like, oh, I want my character to be good at everything, well, then you're probably gonna play a bard because they get literally something called jack of all trades, which basically means that anything you're bad at, you're good at. Couple that with them getting something called expertise, meaning anything they're good at, they're extremely good at. Meaning they'll probably succeed on every single skill in the entire game, just because they are one of two classes that are considered skill based. Like they get a lot of skills. The other one being the rogue. But while the bard is a more of a jack of all trades, meaning you're good. The rogue is more like, okay, I'm what you're good at, you're really good at, but everything else you're decent at. Meaning if you're a very good liar, then you're an extremely good liar. Meaning that, but that's off track a little bit. So, coupled with this, like you are a very much a seeker of knowledge that wants to try a lot of different things, bards get a lot of stuff. First of all, they get a eight-sided die, which is more than the wizard and the sorcerer, and the same as the warlock. Meaning, just like the warlock, the bard is more of a combat oriented. Like if in a fight you'll probably see more bards than sorcerers or wizards. So they get a larger amount of HP per level than the sorcerer and the wizard. Combining with that, they also get a proficiency, which means that they can use light armor, like leather armor, which means they aren't as squishy like a. It's very much the bard very much has roughly the same amount, same proficiencies as a when it comes to armor and hit dice as the warlock, meaning they are, but they do get some stuff that are a little bit unique. First of all, they get proficiency in simple weapons, meaning they can use knives, staffs, clubs, that sort of stuff. That is what we classify as simple weapons. Which, as far as I know, every single class gets at least proficiency in that, even the sorcerer. They also get proficiency in hand crossbows, like a crossbow that you have one-handed, and long swords, rapiers, and short swords. So basically, long swords are like these normal-ish sword. Like if you ever seen a knight fight, that's how a long sword. A short sword is a lot more like a very much shorter sword. Is usually in the world of D&D, usually common people like the town guard might have short swords. And rapiers are, if you've ever seen fencing, that's a rapier, meaning it's like a short sword that is very like thin, that is used more for stabbing more than slashing. They get proficiency in three musical instruments, because remember, a bard is usually they're storytellers, actors, and those stuff can be good having some music. And the fun part I always find extremely funny is that they can choose any three skills from the entire list. And there are like 18 skills. Meaning they don't get like other classes where they have, okay, this is the skills you get. Choose from those. No, they can choose any three, meaning technically you can have a bard that is totally different from each other. One might choose, okay, I'm choosing acrobatics, stealth, and sleight of hand. Another one might choose, okay, I'm choosing athletics, perception, and persuasion. So that's kind of a lot more of how you customize your bard to do what you get. Let's go over to spells because, well, bards are spellcasters, and they get in total four cantrips. And for those who don't know, cantrips are spells that you can cast at any time, meaning you don't have to expend a what game called spell slots. So you get to basically cast those how many times you want. Usually they are pretty weak. Like there's some like Firebolt that deals and 10 maximum of 10 fire damage, but they don't real. They're literally like meant to be like a last resort, meaning you don't really use them like this. Like, oh, you see someone, I instantly cast a cantrip. You usually choose a level spell. So they get a maximum of 4. They get access, they have still the same progression as a full caster, meaning they aren't half casters. But instead, while the sorcerer gets like 15, they can get in total, they can choose 22. And remember, that's not how many spells they're in, they can have, learn, or what they have in their spell list. They can learn a lot more than there's a lot more there, but they can learn 22. So they can cast any spells as a ritual, meaning usually in a spell, for example, identify has a code like this, and then is ritual, which means that you can cast the spell, then it takes 10 minutes before it happens, but you don't expend a spell slots, which can be good in like, oh, because a lot of ritual spells usually are are more support, like, okay, I want to know what this magic item does. They aren't usually like attack spells. So yeah, they get something called bardic inspiration, where they basically inspire other people, and they get to add in the beginning they get to add a 6-sided die to anything, to any attack roll, to see if, which is pretty good, meaning there's a lot bigger of a chance that the person that you have inspired actually lands their hit. And this gets upgraded to a maximum of a 12-sided die. They also, they get Jack of all trades. They get Song of Rest, where basically they can add another, because during a short rest you roll your character's hit die to see like, oh, how much HP do I get back from a short rest. You get back those during a long one, meaning you can then add a d6 to that one too, a lot like the bardic inspiration. It also goes up to a d12. So yeah, you get a expertise, you get font of inspiration, which basically means, sorry for that, I just have to read it, which basically means that you can get it back on a short or long rest, meaning you can technically like okay, I chill for an hour and then I'm back on my feet. They get counter charm, which basically means that they probably get advantage against being charmed. They get magical secret, which means that they can choose 2 spells from any class spell list, and there are bard spells for them, which is pretty good in my eyes, because it means that you can pick up a spell that isn't in the bard's spell list that you really want, that you think your character might fit. Like, oh, I want my character to have, say, minor illusion or fireball, but the bard spell list doesn't give me fireball well, then you can pick it from the sorcerer's spell list. Then you get bardic inspiration, superior inspiration, which means that you always have at least 1 bardic inspiration at all times. So for subclasses, or what they are called in the world of bards, they're college, which mean, yeah, I know it's a funny word, which basically means there are 2 in total. There is the College of Lore and the College of Valor, which they're very much the yin and yang when it comes. College of Lore is more skill and magic based, while College of Valor is more combat based. So College of Lore, which is my personal favorite because I like magic and I think I relate to it a lot, and probably would have been, if I ever were in the D&D world, I'd probably be a bard of College of Lore. Means you get proficiency in 3 skills, again, of your choice. You can use your bardic inspiration to basically like do something to them, like hurt them mentally. So basically you can utilize your party mouth. You get additional magical secrets. So you get, you get an additional one. This time you can also choose. So basically, College of Lore is very much skill and magic based. Meaning if you really want your character to be like, oh, he's a master of magic and skills, then pick the College of Lore. While we got the College of Valor, which they are more combat oriented, which is why at third level you get proficiency in martial weapons like swords, long swords, and that kind of stuff. Medium armor like half plate armor and shields, which basically makes it a little bit more combat oriented. Your inspirations can now also work for attacks. So basically, you're using your inspiration more in combat. You get an extra attack, meaning you can attack twice during one turn, and you basically get to you can cast a bardic spell and attack as a bonus action. Sorry for this video being kind of short. It's just that yeah, it's nice being back.